evening, everyone, and welcome to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world show made for the fans by a fan. I am your host, as always, Richard Tiemann. This is the award-winning Fan Show. That's right, everyone's a fan of something. We've got something for every fan, especially those of you that are a fan of the Indoor Football League, because the countdown is over. Kickoff is happening tomorrow night. Kickoff 2019 IFL season. We will see one game. Saturday we will see two games. And Sunday we will see the fourth game of week one. And we'll know a lot more than we do right now because there's still some roster positions out there being decided. I was recently informed that Brian Hicks will not play in Tucson. How crazy is that? That still blows me away. He informed me last night. I said, it's okay, man. You're going to find a home. You're going to make an impact. You're going to be the guy. So best wishes, Brian Hicks. Of course, last night we had a lot of fun with the guys from the indoor world. Kickers Need Love too. And it was Cody Barber, Jordan Endries. If you missed any of that episode, please go back and listen to it. We had a lot of fun. We put to bed some negative stereotypes about kickers, some misconceptions that they wanted people to understand simply is not the case. Kickers are athletes. Kickers are people too. Kickers are just all-around great people. And I love kickers. I do. They drive me the most nuts, but I love them. It's kind of like a relationship. It's like a marriage. There we go. You love them, but you hate them. You love them more. You hate them about the same. I don't know. But anyway, you get the idea. So we have IFL Kickoff this weekend that's going to top off our headlines. We got a lot of them. Look at all that, man. It's been a 24 hours. It really has. And I personally love when there's a lot to talk about going into a weekend. And I think the fact that there's so much happening tomorrow and that we're going to get back into our respected routines. Those of you that follow the Indoor Football League or Arena Leagues, you know that it's going to be one of those times a year where you get to see old friends, you get to meet new faces, all that good stuff. But Travis Martin, local quarterback from right here in Spokane, he's on the show later tonight. We're actually going to talk about his career right now, Indoor Football League or otherwise, arena ball, maybe, possibly, we'll see. And Marshall Hart. Marshall's back. Marshall's back. He's with the Iowa Barnstormers, and he doesn't have a game opening weekend. I thought it was if they were going to do that, if they were going to do a bye week, week one, I thought the league would give Sioux Falls and Iowa a pass because they were in last year's championship. That makes perfect sense to me. But no, it's Tucson, which I guess, you know, I mentioned roster spots not being for certain right now. Tucson, I guess, gets another week to figure it out, so there's that. But Iowa, they get to kick back, relax, eat some pizza, and watch week one unfold, which is going to be, I think, a lot of fun. I think this is going to be one of the better week ones that we've seen in a while, and that's very exciting for me. So we got a great episode for you. Got two great interviews to help you send you into your weekend, which is full of fun action. We'll do our AAF predictions like I did last week, so we'll talk week 3. I'm not going to do predictions for the IFL. There's too many. I got too many friends in the league. I don't want them to take anything that I say the wrong way, and I know that I try to be as unbiased as possible, but there are some biases. I've got more friends on some teams than others. I don't even have friends at all on some teams, and that's fine. But I love the league, and I want the fans to be excited about the season. I want the leagues to continue to grow and thrive, and so if I can do that as an unbiased third party, then that's what I'll do. With the AAF as well, you know, I'll do predictions. I don't have really a horse in the race, but I just think it's something fun to do because this is their inaugural season, and we're going week to week, very much about how this whole thing is going to unfold. NFL, all bets are off. I'm biased as on that, you know? Niners, all day. If you're a Seahawks fan, I'm sorry that you listen to my show, but it's okay. Yeah, let's get to it. Today's headlines. Headlines, of course, brought to you by Dynamite Enterprises. They can customize your world if it's a backdrop, which I really wish I had right now. If it's even mic blocks, they can do those things as well. We've talked about a lot of things that they can do, but one of their best things is stickers, of course. They make great stickers like this. If you guys don't have some of these, you need to get some. And I will have those with me on the Fan Show tour. You guys are welcome to get them while I've got them, but once they're out, probably going to have to be something that you order, along with t-shirts and hats and whatever other stuff that I run out of while I'm on the road. I'm only going to have X amount with me for each trip, and once they're gone, they're gone. So, Dynamite Enterprises, t-shirts, hats, beanies, mic flags, backdrops, tablecloths, everything, you name it, they can do it, and they do a really damn good job of it. Except, I must say, they do not do custom fishing lures. That is Mr. Willamette of Willamette Weapons. He does these guys right here. Look, that's the outdoor division colors. For those of you watching on Facebook Live, I apologize to those of you listening. You can't see this, but you have seen it on social media. This little guy, this is awesome. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. So they can't do that, but I know a guy that can, and he's very good at it. So if you need a custom fishing lure, I know a guy. But everything else, though, go to Ethan at dynamiteenterprises.com. Email him directly, Ethan at dynamiteenterprises.com. And we're going to take it from the top. We've got IFL Kickoff coming up. Tomorrow, we will see the San Diego Strike Force, the expansion team out of California, the only one, but they are making their way westward, the league is. They will take on Quad City, the Steamwheelers, the new face, but not the new team. They are from the CIF, and they were on a bit of a hiatus for a while. They've come back bigger, better, stronger. Their fans were very excited to have football back in the QC. That kickoff will happen at 5:05 Pacific time, or 8:05 Eastern, or 7:05 Central time. I even wrote down the time, so I made sure I remembered this time around. So that is your season kickoff. San Diego has a lot to prove tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. They have been behind the 8 ball this entire offseason, and they've had to scramble, but I think they will end up putting a good product out on the field. I just don't know if it'll happen week 1. QC's hungry. Quad City, the Steamwheelers, they're ready to go. They know that they've got to beat teams like the Barnstormers, the Rattlers, the Blizzard, if they want to really compete in this league, and they're ready to do it. They wanted bigger and better competition last year. They're going to get it this year. So I see Quad City, they might have a very happy homecoming and kickoff tomorrow night. But that game, you can watch it live on YouTube. Then Saturday, doubleheader, we've got the Bucks versus the Danger. Bucks, of course, came with Quad City from the CIF to the IFL. They will take on one of the more tenured teams, the Nebraska Danger, who will be quarterbacked by Tommy Armstrong, or Tommy Gunn. He's a Nebraska product himself, so fans should be excited about that. That kickoff is also 5:05 Pacific, 8:05 Eastern, or 7:05 Central. And then the other part of the doubleheader is the Sioux Falls Storm. The 10-time champion, they will go on the road to take on the newly rebranded Cedar Rapids River Kings. That, again, 5:05 Pacific time, 8:05 Eastern, 7:05 Central time. And then Sunday, to wrap up week numero uno, we will see the Arizona Rattlers in Green Bay to take on the Blizzard. And Blizzard, another one of those very hungry teams. I'm not sure what the River Kings are going to look like, but the Storm and the Rattlers and the Danger are all ready to compete. They were in the postseason last year. They're ready to get back there. But we've got 10 teams, not 6. And I am very excited to see how this all plays out. We start one game at a time, week 1. Kickoff is tomorrow night. And then we will have, of course, our weekly power rankings, which I know that you guys all love every week. I need to do another Fan Show Fun Fact Friday, because there's some that have been really good that you guys were completely surprised by. But yes, it is true that I think the last one I did was that I upset an entire team with my power rankings. It's absolutely true. There's only one individual that I don't talk to anymore because of it. But it was funny. And it was completely a misunderstanding. But hey, sometimes those are the best stories. But I laugh about it now because we've all since moved on, except for the one. Oh well. All right, so the AAF Week 3 we have happening this weekend as well. If you've got a tablet, a laptop, a computer, and then a TV like I do, all 4 of them are going to be going with different screens if you are a fan of both. So I do not envy those of you that are going to have to toggle back and forth, all right? So the AAF, the Alliance of American Football, week number 3 is as follows. As soon as the schedule loads here. Okay, so first up, Saturday, we will see the Arizona Hotshots, 2-0, okay, take on the Salt Lake Stallions, 0-2. And then we will see Saturday, and that is at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Then we will see at 5 Pacific, which will be 8 Eastern, and that is the Memphis Express, 0-2. Taking on the Orlando Apollos, 2-0. And then Sunday's matchups. We've got 2 of them. 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. Birmingham Iron, 2-0. Taking on the Atlanta Legends, 0-2. And then, bringing it home, San Antonio Commanders, 1-1, will take on the San Diego Fleet, also 1-1. So let's take a look at these, shall we? The Hotshots and the Stallions, that's a Week 1 rematch. I think the Stallions get it. They're 0-2, and they're going to take on a 2-0 team, and they've come so close the last 2 weeks, one, of course, being against the Hotshots, and they're going to be at home, which I don't know how much home field matters in a league this young, but I think it matters enough. Probably a very back-and-forth game, but I know it's only Week 3, and we could say this all the way into like week 5, 6, and 7, that the unlucky streak has to run out eventually, just like the lucky streak has to run out eventually. So I'm going to say very close game in this one, back and forth, but instead of being unlucky in the fourth quarter, I think Salt Lake gets lucky in the fourth quarter, and they give Arizona their first loss of the season. They get 1 in the win column for themselves. And that will be how your AAF weekend starts out on Saturday. Then, the Memphis Express against the Orlando Apollos. I mean, Memphis, after 2 weeks, I don't know. This is the Mike Singletary team that somehow is 0-2, and I did not see that one coming. But the Apollos, man, they look like they've got it going on. I'm going to have to go with Orlando again. This team is hot right now, and it's only Week 3, but they have been able to do it in all aspects of the game. Offense, defense, special teams, whatever special teams there are, punting and field goals, but they've gotten it done. Orlando Apollos move on to 3-0. And unfortunately, Memphis will have to wait to get their first one in the win column. This one, I don't think it'll be a very close game. Orlando finds a way to put on the points, whether it's the first quarter, first half, fourth quarter, the second half. I mean, it's crazy. Their defense really stepped up last week, so I think they'll do it again. Then Sunday, Birmingham Iron against the Atlanta Legends. Atlanta's got a lot to prove, and Birmingham's defense has been amazing. And they do just enough to win each game. It's like they play Gruden football. Back when he was with the Buccaneers, it was, I'm going to get a lead and I'm going to sit on it. And that's kind of what they do. The Iron, they get a lead, they sit. And it's really all that you need to do. So I'm going to say that the Iron will get a win on the road. They will move to 3-0, and Atlanta is going to have to figure stuff out for Week 4. Then another rematch from Week 1, but flipped the Commanders and the Fleet, both 1-1. So this will be a good one. This is one of those games where somebody's getting another loss and somebody's getting another win, right? But very 50-50, very even. Commanders really had them in every facet of the Week 1 matchup, but San Diego has since made adjustments, as have the Commanders. This is probably going to be one of the better games of the week. I probably think that this will be the game of the week, and it'll come late Sunday. So the San Antonio Commanders, San Diego Fleet, I think it'll be a higher scoring game than Week 1, and I'm going to have to go with the Fleet on this one. And I think it's a hometown thing, but that would mean that San Antonio would lose 2 in a row. That's crazy to think about already. But hey, there's a few teams that are looking at going 0-3, and nobody wants to be there. So in a weekend where there's 3 teams that are undefeated that could continue that, and then there's 3 teams that have not won a game that could continue that, I see only 2 teams emerging undefeated still, Orlando and Birmingham. I think Arizona gets its first loss against Salt Lake, and everybody's going to say I'm an Arizona hater, but it's just, I don't know what it is about that team. There's something I got to see. I got to see it. So Salt Lake, we'll see. I'm picking the Stallions, I think, for the first time. I think I picked Arizona in week 1, so the haters, I don't know why they're even hating. And that will do it for the sports news. Also, Throwback Thursday, Lorenzo Brown, one of the recipients of the Player of the Game fan show belt, as we do our throwback, continuing the countdown to IFL Kickoff. Him and the Sioux Falls Storm will kick off their season on the road this weekend. And who will get the belt on the fan show tour this year? Let me know your thoughts about players to watch in the IFL and the NAL. In music news, tomorrow night, Elephant Gun Riot performs with Everyone Loves a Villain at the Knitting Factory Concert House. So if you're in Spokane, please go to that. Please attend. I've got free tickets, free 99, free tickets, all right? You guys support local. So if you guys want to go to a concert tomorrow night, hit me up. I got plenty of tickets, okay? More than enough to go around. Also tomorrow, though, if you're in Hermiston, Oregon, oddly enough, Prestige Wrestling is having an event. It's called Tower of Snakes, but it's a local, independent promotion. So if you're in the Oregon area, the Eastern Oregon area, then I would suggest, if you're a wrestling fan, hitting up this. Should be a great production. I can't be there myself, and not because of the concert, just because not enough extra to go around to justify driving down there. They will be in Spokane, though, in the months to come, so that's very exciting as well. Newfound Glory is about to release Screen to Your Stereo Part 3. They debuted the music video for their cover of Power of Love from Back to the Future last night. Very well done. I'm excited for this album. They always do a great job when they cover songs for movies. No news in the robotics or tech department. Still waiting for the official word on BattleBots Season 4. But everybody's packing up and getting ready, so it looks like, it's all a go except for just the formalities now. So fingers crossed. Then in wrestling, we had SmackDown Live. Kofi Mania continues, and we have a new North American champion, Velveteen Dream. Congratulations, Velveteen. Very well deserved. What else can you say about this guy that hasn't already been said? He's a phenomenal athlete. I hope he does big things for this company. He's already doing big things. This is his first championship, but he's one of the premier stars for that brand. So very well done there. Also, wrestling pop culture kind of. Chris Hemsworth is cast as Hulk Hogan for the Hulk Hogan biopic coming up. That should be good. In other news, though, for pop culture, Eminem's not happy with Netflix and canceling The Punisher. I thought that was especially amusing. And then The Masked Singer happened last night. They have narrowed it down to 3. They had 2 eliminations, and I kind of predicted both. But I'm Team Monster, man. If Monster doesn't win, the whole thing in my mind is rigged. But Peacock, very good, as well as Bee and Lion and Rabbit. So if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you. But I may have already spoiled a little bit, but it's, you got 1 out of 5 that I said is moving on, and that's the Monster. So, sorry. Outdoors, we'll wrap this up. March 2nd at Siltcoos Lake in Oregon, another All-Star Bass Team League tournament happening. Hit up Bobby Brown and All-Star Bass Fishing for more details on that. And that will do it for the headlines. So this is where we say farewell and adieu. And if you guys are watching on Facebook Live, I need to remind you that starting next week, these little live sessions for the headlines will be done from the Fan Show Facebook page, not my own personal Facebook page. So if you guys have been enjoying tuning in for the headlines portion and getting to know what's coming up and maybe just hanging out for a few minutes, this will be taking place from the Fan Show page starting next week. So what you're seeing right now, no longer my personal page, the Fan Show page. And so make sure that you click the link Spreaker.com/user/the-fan-show. We've got interviews with Travis Martin and Marshall Hart coming up right now. First up is Travis. Enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now, he's about as local as they come, and he's going to make the announcement, so we're going to have the exclusive here right now. He's going to play for Tri-City Fire, and that is Travis Martin. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show. Big fan of it.
Yeah, it's not every day we get to talk to somebody from right here in the backyard in every facet of the word. I mean, when Spokane had the Shock and the Empire, it was still consistent of players from kind of all over the place. I think the last time we had somebody that was from even the same state, Justin Hellwidge, a tight end wide receiver for the Spokane Empire, who played for Central, grew up over on the west side, but you are from right here, homegrown, played for Eastern, and then the Wolfpack, which I've been a part of for the last couple of years. So how's the 2019 shaping up for you then, playing for a place like Tri-City, and how did it all come about?
Oh man, it's great. It was a crazy offseason, craziest offseason I've ever had. So, yeah, it started with getting looked at by Austin, wanted me back, and then I was looking at different options. So I had Wenatchee contact me, went down there for a tryout, got signed with them, got released, and then got signed with the Carolina Cobras. They offered me to come in and compete for a roster spot, and then now I had Tri-Cities Fire offer me to come in and compete for a roster spot and potentially a starting position too. So something I couldn't pass up, and love the opportunity.
Well, it'd be a fool to not have you start, and I'm not trying to downplay the league. It is a brand new league. There are, I believe, 4 or 5 teams last I checked, and it's a lot of you guys that you've tried hard to branch out. You were one of the few I know that actually was able to, playing in Austin, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but they're smart to bring guys from around here in, because this first season is going to be tough. It is for any league, any team. Your first outing, you want to make sure that you have not only talent, but talent that can attract locally, and that's what you bring to the table. So I certainly think that your skill set should make you starter hands down, but they have the right mode of thinking, having a local come in for a position as important as the quarterback. So I'm glad that you get to play in front of your family, your friends, and everything. Where would you say you're at this point in your career? Because obviously you talked about, Carolina, their area scout, they were going to fly in for a tryout, which would be huge because along with the IFL, NAL is another league that I cover, and I only cover the leagues that I have a tremendous amount of faith in and have made some connections. And if they're drinking the Kool-Aid and liking it, I am too. But would have been a great stage for you. But obviously, with you guys at this level, there's a few different factors that play into the decision making. So where would you say you're at right now in as far as what you have left to do, what you've already done, and what this year will mean for all of that?
Yeah, definitely. So what I've done is, my main goal was to get to a professional level, and I've accomplished that, and that's great. But now that I'm here, I want to make a splash. I want to make my name out there. I want the whole nation to know who I am. So I think coming to the Tri-Cities Fire, I think I can get an opportunity to get a lot of film and get looked at by the higher leagues, the NAL, the AFL, XFL, AAF, CFL, NFL. So that's my plan and my goal right now, is to do that.
So the dream's still very much alive for you, which is good, because it's that hunger that can motivate you to perform at an exceptional level. I see it from guys all the time that, all it takes is an opportunity or to know what they're working toward, and you clearly have that in mind as far as what your ultimate goal is and maybe the steps that you need to succeed and get there. What was it like in Austin? That's, we're talking about football country, USA, Texas, man. What was that journey like?
First of all, the weather was amazing. It was nice going from 2 degrees over here to 70 degrees over there, and you're playing outside and stuff. That was great. It was fun though. It was my first professional arena team that I went to, and it was a good experience for me. Like, I got to learn under a good quarterback. I was his backup, and it was great. Just getting to see how the professional is. Like how you act, how you perform, and how you are in the community, and how the youth looks up to you. So it was great to go down there, play in front of the fans. We had a good team. I think we went like 7-3, and hope the best for them this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great opportunity to play outside your home area. I don't want to say that for every person being away from home is some level of discomfort, but you do have to get outside your comfort zone every once in a while if you want to try to push yourself to that next level. So for you to be able to get out of the Pacific Northwest and play elsewhere, but now obviously, it's about film, it's about the stage being set right, and then getting the backing of your support system being family and friends. So I completely agree with the decision to play for Tri-City. I don't know a lot about the league. Obviously, it's the first time out, but I do know that Boise, or should I say the Idaho Horsemen, and their coaches and owners have been, big-time players in making sure that this league is done correctly, which is hard to do. It really is. But hopefully, it's nothing that you have to worry about as a player. As long as you get what's owed to you, you get your film, you get your playing time. But I would love to see you branch out AAF, AFL or XFL, and then, of course, CFL, NFL. Would be great to see you come from here and go to that, because there's not a lot of stories like that, except for, of course, the Rippon family. And we'll see what happens with Brett Rippon. For you, though, what was it like, obviously, playing with the Wolfpack, Spokane semi-pro pay-to-play team, which has new ownership? I've met with the guys. They're great. It really looks like they've got a good plan in mind as far as how they want to have an impact on the community and make the Wolfpack kind of a staple here for football. But then you've also played indoor. You went to Eastern. So, there's big fish, small pond can often be the feeling when you are kind of alone in what it is that you do and your talent. So when you got the opportunity to go out, to try out for other teams, to play for Austin, like what was that like for you as far as an experience goes?
It was an amazing experience. So with my football career, I've always been overlooked, and always told, like, you're not fast enough, you're not big enough, and you don't have the big enough arm or whatever to compete in these higher leagues. And just getting opportunities like that. I got an opportunity at Eastern. I got it with the Wolfpack and with the Austin Wild too. So going down there and competing with professionals was just an amazing experience, and it's transformed me to who I am now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Shock/Empire was the only team that you didn't play for locally here. Otherwise, you would have completed the trifecta, But
right.
Hopefully Spokane gets football back to that capacity, or hopefully what the guys are doing with the Wolfpack means that they can make that bigger than what it is. And I don't know if that means that they have to move leagues or they become something different, but it's baby steps right now. And I don't know if you've had a chance to talk with the new ownership, but I certainly got a good feeling from them and their direction that they're taking the team. But for you, being an alum, what is it? Every opportunity is an opportunity, and it's what you do with that opportunity that you either would vouch for it or not.
It is definitely. And, speaking to the youth and guys out there that want to make an opportunity to move up in leagues, go out there and do it. Like, what's stopping you from doing it? Like a little story about me, I was at Eastern. I tried out for the team the first year and I didn't make it. So I had to sit out a year, and I found out about the Wolfpack, and they gave me an opportunity to come out and continue to be playing. And I loved it. So then I got to do that for a year. And then I tried out for Eastern again the following year to walk on. And they actually picked me up for walking on. So I was actually playing for Eastern Washington University and the Spokane Wolfpack at the same time. So I was literally going to work in the morning and then going to school, doing our lifting for Eastern, and then going to Eastern's practice after school. And then right after Eastern's practice, I was literally going to the Spokane Wolfpack practice. So,
oh, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, just take advantage of any opportunity that you can get.
What's your thoughts on criticism? And let me lead in by saying that right now we are going into the third week of the brand new Alliance of American Football League, which a lot of people are calling minor league football, developmental league, second chance league. And if we put the payroll issue that happened this week aside, I love the concept of it. I really do. But there's a lot of couch coaches and armchair quarterbacks out there that are quick to say, "Man, my buddy D's, man, he could totally play for these guys, man. He's got the skills. I'll call him up right now. He'll get off his couch. He'll go out there and score points for these guys." But it's you have guys that are hungry like yourself that will burn the candle at both ends, take advantage of every opportunity because it is an opportunity, and you can't get from one step to the next without taking that step in between. And so for there to be criticism and guys out there that think that they're above this or that they're better than this, like from somebody who's been in it, who's done it, who's still doing it, like what do you say to those people, and how do you block that out?
Yeah, well, those people that think they're above it, I mean, they better watch out for guys like me that are hungry to go, because we're going to be fighting to take that spot from them. And, guys like me with our passion, it's going to drive us to, try to go take their spots and stuff, And, I mean, criticism is part of the game, but you always got to be fighting for that spot. Always got to be working for it and showing that you're the best and you can compete in these leagues. And, like the AAF, go out and compete, go dominate, and then you're going to get looked at by the CFL and NFL. So just always be ready and ready for an opportunity.
Now, there's a lot of guys, and you yourself acknowledge that football, at the end of the day, it is a business. Wenatchee Skyhawks, whatever their thinking was behind you not being part of their roster or even their quarterback, you believe it was a business decision, which it very well could be. Do you see a lot of politics, though, at this level that it would keep you out of a spot as opposed to another? Because they talk about it all the time at the pro levels, which I have no doubt. I mean, you're talking big time business moves right there. But do you believe there's politics? Like, have you seen politics yourself, or what you believe to be is politics playing a role in this or that at this level?
Nothing against Wenatchee. I do believe it was a business decision. I don't hold anything against them, but I think in every single level there will be politics in football. But the only way you can beat that out is by competing and showing them that you are better. Give these guys an opportunity to play and to see what they have. Put the pads on and let the pads talk. So I think that's the way you can beat that issue nowadays.
Yeah, it's very true. Eastern's motto last year after missing the playoffs the previous season, leave no doubt, because they believe that they should have had a playoff bid, a spot, and obviously not a top 4 seed. But then they went and they crushed their schedule with the exception of a loss to rival Weber State on the road. And then, of course, another road loss to WSU, and that's nothing to really hang your head about. They went out there, and the rest of the season they dominated. They got in, they went to the championship. So they left no doubt. And when it comes to levels such as this, guys in your position, your ultimate goal to get to the next level. But, of course, some guys, they're content with being the star of a team or a league and getting that championship as if, that's still accomplishing something, because it seems like there's a couple of guys out there that, they're using this as a chance to get film, to get noticed, and to move up. But, they get to the playoffs, they get to the championship, they win a championship. It's almost like they lost sight of that. What's the one thing that you are looking to accomplish ultimately in 2019?
I do want to bring a championship to Tri-Cities, to this area. And, being our first year here for the Tri-Cities Fire, I do want to bring a championship to the fans. And, they have a great fan base down there. Previously, they were the Tri-Cities Fever, but I do want to bring a championship down to Tri-Cities. And I do want to help myself out, too. I want to go up to the next level. I want to help my linemen go up to the next level. I want to help my receivers go up to the next level, This is a family sport, and I think going down to Tri-Cities, let's go win a championship and bring it back home, and let's move up to the next level, too.
So the journey, you might as well enjoy the ride, right?
Yes, sir.
No matter whether it's planes, trains, automobiles, the destination's the same, but no matter how you get there, you might as well take in the scenery a little bit and make a few stops on the way. So I like the mentality there. I think people from the Pacific Northwest will have a lot to look forward to. Obviously, we hope that you get that starting spot for Tri-Cities. When does your season kick off at home? I'm assuming at the Toyota Center?
Yep, it'll be at the Toyota Center, and our first game will be April 13th.
April 13th. All right, Toyota Center. Do you know who your opponent is?
Yes, I do. I have to look at it real quick. Sorry.
It's okay.
It will be the Idaho Horsemen.
Ooh,
originally, it was the Sacramento Spartans, but actually today we just got news that they are not joining the league. So it's back down to a 4-team league.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
So we're back down to a 4-team league. Sacramento has decided to play elsewhere, I guess. So we've got the Reno Express, the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks, the Tri-Cities Fire, and then the Idaho Horsemen. So it's going to be a nice little... I mean, Reno's a bit of an outlier there, but, outside of Portland, Oregon, or even Salt Lake City, it's probably the next closest thing, and still keeping kind of that Pacific Northwest feel. But it'll be good. I think you guys, start small, build big, and you're definitely the right guy to help get this team, if not the league, there. So certainly wish you all the best of luck. You got any preseason rituals that you got to get done before you head down to Tri-Cities? Anything that you need to make sure it's handled up here at home, or anything that you wanted to make sure that you did before the season started?
Yeah, I actually take care of my mom up here. She's had a couple health problems, so I make sure she's fine, and doing good. And, just working out and keeping my faith. So
that's awesome, man. All right.
Yep.
Well, hey, we're pulling for you. We'll watch the news for the final roster spots and announcements, and hopefully your name is on one of them, and then it's number one on that depth chart. But, hey, I appreciate you taking the time, and once again, best of luck this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show, too, Richard.
Absolutely, man. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now. You know him, you love him, or at least I do, and most of you should love him, because what's not to love about Marshall Hart from Des Moines, Iowa right now with the Barnstormers? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing great. I miss your face. It's that time of year. Wolfpack is starting to have their OTAs and get stuff going. There's new ownership there, and of course, it's that void of no indoor football or arena football in Spokane, but you were with Nebraska last year. You're with the Barnstormers this year, so you're finding work, which is good. How you liking it in the Midwest?
It's great. I was going to be done, and Coach Wooten, texted me, and we talked about it, and I couldn't, I didn't make a better choice. It's great here. Coach Wooten is really the coach of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we decided that the F.A.N show Coach of the Year, the IFL Coach of the Year, so it was pretty much a unanimous vote. Now, for you, it must have taken something for you to not hang him up, so to speak. You said that you and Coach Wooten talked about, now not to disclose everything, but was there something he said, the way he said it, or just anything that made you think, you know what, if I'm going to do this and this be my last hurrah, this would be the way that I want to go out? Like, what was the conversation like?
I just wanted somebody, Coach Wooten's great. I wanted somebody I could learn from again. Coach Shack, Coach Shack is the coach this year, and obviously I have a very close relationship with Coach Shack. And he's the reason I went down to Nebraska last year. And finding somebody like Coach Wooten again that can kind of mentor me and someone that I can learn from again is really great.
Yeah, and you have, you come from quite the coaching tree now. I think that you'd even be part of that after this year, because Wooten, he's got a couple of guys that have gone on to take head coaching jobs and coordinator jobs elsewhere. I mean, Marcus Coleman, he's going to be the guy for Tucson, but you've had Coach Shack You've had Coach Stout, Coach Pig Brown, and now Coach Wooten. I mean, those are some of the biggest names in the indoor world. Is this something where after this season you might look at what bigger coordinator jobs or maybe even coaching jobs are available?
Yeah, it's all what lines up for me. It's all what opportunities present themselves. Coach Wooten kind of presented itself to me. And that was a blessing. So, there's a plan for everything. And so I just got to keep trucking along, got to keep working hard. And, my coaching tree has become kind of a square now at this point. It's not really it's one way. I've been blessed to be at work under a lot of different coaches. And my tree has a lot of stumps. Let's put it that way. Kind of like me, stumpy,
You're not stumpy, you're huggable. I know that for a fact.
Huggable. That's a good one. That's what I told my girlfriend. That's what she says. I'm huggable.
You are.
Huggable.
Very huggable. Well, you guys don't kick off this weekend, but the rest of the league does, with the exception of, obviously, since there's 10 teams, one other team out there that will not. But for you guys, there's a few new faces. There's a couple of expansion teams. So what, as a coach, as a coordinator, as someone who's been in this league, you know how bye weeks work, but to not have to play opening weekend, is there anything you're going to be doing extra this weekend that maybe you normally wouldn't? Are you going to watch the games? Is it going to be a film thing, or making sure that you got the playbook down? Like, what's your opening weekend look like since you're not actually out there?
Richard, my opening weekend is probably going to include some pizza. It's going to include sitting on my couch. It's going to include watching these games. Other than that, you just get a chance to relax and watch these games. During the season, you don't really get a chance to do that a ton because you're already breaking down film. And at this point, especially with, Quad Cities being our first opponent, we don't have a lot of Quad Cities film. They played last year in the CIF, but we don't have any IFL film and anything to really go back on other than, CIF and, and the technicalities there. It's really nice just getting a chance to sit back and watch these games. I work with a pretty good coaching staff with a bunch of fun guys. Coach Wooten is a time and a half. So it's great to really sit back and watch these games and, just enjoy it.
Yeah,
enjoy
absolutely.
the IFL.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I do. It dawned on me earlier that this will be the first opening weekend that I will not be on location somewhere, because when Spokane was here, I was there for their opening weekend, and then I was at the season kickoff in Salt Lake 2 seasons ago, and then I was in Arizona for them in Sioux Falls last season. But what's it like for you guys as far as, you and Tucson will not play this weekend, which I thought maybe it might be you guys and Sioux Falls that wouldn't play, but they're going to be on the road right next door, Cedar Rapids. Are you going to go to that game or just watch that game?
I'll probably just watch it. I'll probably just watch it back at the house. I wouldn't mind going to Cedar Rapids. Obviously, Ryan being in Cedar Rapids is a big deal, and they've really done a really good job with that revamp. It does kind of have a little bit of a Spokane Empire vibe. It's kind of funny, but Ryan's doing a really good job down there. So I'm actually very excited to see what that's about and see Quad Cities new turf.
Yeah, they got all kinds of new stuff going on down there, and you guys are going to unveil new uniforms and helmets. Have you seen them yet?
This is information that I cannot disclose, Richard. However, This is top secret. I know. Top secret. However, it looks very sleek, even on my wide frame, as I like to say it, put it politely. They look sleek.
Okay. They look sleek. All right.
Sleek, yes.
Okay,
yes.
well,
yes.
I'm excited for them because Green Bay, they have new helmets. Not much has changed. They're white instead of green, and the logo is a lot bigger, which I said that they needed to do a couple of seasons ago. Arizona's always doing some new stuff. Of course, we've got the expansion San Diego and Tucson teams that have unveiled their respective gear. Quad City, I always felt had a good look. Bismarck, their look is pretty good. And then Nebraska, I think, even has new helmets and uniforms. And then
after getting a up close look at those Nebraska uniforms, they are fresh. That neon green. Oh, fresh. Fresh is a good way to put it.
Okay.
They're good. They look good. I'm a fan of that neon green.
Bright neon green. And then, yes, Cedar Rapids got a sort of a makeover, a rebrand, a redo, And then even the Storm, they have upped their uniform game, which I think they do every year as well. They've got the city skyline on the back of their helmet, which I thought was kind of a unique look. I don't know if you had a chance to see those helmets on social media yet or not.
Yeah, I saw them. They have a Sioux Falls bat signal as well.
That's right, they do.
Kind of funny as well.
So
in Des Moines, you get the goggle bat signal that comes out.
Yeah. All right, so your schedule: pizza, games, study. But
pizza games breaking it down.
Pizza games breaking it down. Okay, fair enough. So we have Arizona, who was obviously deep in the playoffs last year. We thought maybe it might be you guys versus them. It was not. Their road stopped short in Arizona against Sioux Falls. And then they will take on Green Bay, who has back-to-back home games to start the season, which is unheard of in this league, really. And that's going to be your guys' opponent when you come home for the banner drop March 9th. So there's some special interest there. Of course, Sioux Falls, your opponent from last year, will be taking on your interstate rival, the Cedar Rapids River Kings. And then Quad City is your first game, and that's on the road, and they're going to be opening the season as a whole against San Diego. So is there any game in particular that you feel is of special interest to you?
The coach in me says it's Quad City's obviously being our first opponent, and being a special teams coordinator coach, and I'm able to see them and able to see kind of what they're doing. That gives us an opportunity to kind of game plan early. It's great seeing Cedar Rapids, obviously, seeing Coach Stout and hopefully them being successful and Sioux Falls go back, and Arizona and Green Bay is going to be a good game as well. But I'd have to go with Quad Cities just based on our schedule.
Yeah, we'll get to see them for the first time in the IFL, and then, of course, we get to see the Strike Force for the first time ever. And Tucson will have to wait a week before they get their first look on the actual field as the second expansion team. But we will see both newcomers, Bismarck and Quad City. Now, Bismarck takes on Nebraska, which is your former team. I don't know if you have any sort of revenge game feelings when you guys take on Nebraska this year, or if it was, not like that. But I know sometimes you guys have a little extra when it comes to those matchups.
Yeah. There's really not. To be the most genuine I can. There's really not. I have a really good relationship with Coach Pig Brown. I really wish nothing but the best for Coach Brown and Coach Davey and, Mr. Bossman down there. They really did treat me with the utmost respect and the utmost class down there.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that you guys have a mutual respect. I was talking to Coach Corey Roberson, and I said, so is it, formalities and such? You guys shake hands, you get along, on the field, but then off the field, you guys are all talking trash about each other. And he said, most of us get along, some of us don't, but that's sports. That's, competition. That's the world. And I said, yeah, I completely get that.
Completely. We're all competitors, obviously. There's only one team that holds that trophy at the end of the year, and obviously we all want it to be us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. If you're in it for anything else, probably wrong. I know it's to help players get film and get to that next level, but if you've got a championship, play for it. I mean, that's my whole feeling on it.
Listen, I'm here to get some jewelry, Rich. I think along with my obviously very slender frame, I think a nice ring would look pretty good.
I agree. I think some bling would do you right, but. I've got Travis Martin on the show as well, and we talked yesterday. Good kid, very excited, and I know that you two probably know each other from being up here in Spokane. Is there a team that you could see him possibly land with the IFL that might need some young talent at QB?
So Travis I have a pretty long relationship with Travis. Travis I played football at Riverside High School, and Travis was the quarterback at Newport. And Travis threw for, I think, 300 yards in the first half against us. He threw to Jacob Wiley. He played in the NBA. And, I played with Travis with the Wolfpack, and I really do like Travis. I think Travis would succeed wherever he goes. I really hope Travis gets that opportunity. I know that he has a couple of good opportunities, obviously, with Carolina and Coach Back. And, some others that might pop up. And Travis, I think Travis will succeed no matter where in this league.
All right, man. Well, there's some teams popping up here. If the right job opportunity presented itself at Wenatchee Valley or Tri-City, is that something that you could see yourself doing, or is this kind of where your home is, where your heart is, and that's in the IFL?
I would. I think being close to home, relationship, with my family, I've got a really good thing with my girlfriend too, and so it really would be nice to come back home. But we have to see, those leagues have to really prove themselves. It's hard for a coach, once you get stuck in a league that, what I hear, I know Coach Mickey's pretty well, and, see those leagues succeed, that would be a wonderful opportunity, hopefully, in the future.
Yeah, Sacramento had to bow out, so it is back down to 4 teams, which not a lot of people are fans of 4 teams league, but you do have to start somewhere. So I like that that there are new homes for guys up here that maybe can't, be that far away from home for one reason or another, or at least looking for a stepping stone to get from where they were to where they want to be. So I encourage it. I hope that it does well. But yeah, you're right. You've been in this league long enough. You've been around these teams long enough that you know that you got to look before you leap. So I'm glad that you found a good home.
For sure.
In Des Moines, Iowa, with the Iowa Barnstormers, the reigning defending champion, and he is Marshall Hart, their new special teams coordinator. I'm excited to see you in a couple weeks, man. I can't wait.
Rich, I'm all about it. I've also made the decision that if we win, I think we'd have a conversation about wearing that belt all the way back to Spokane for the bye week. I wouldn't mind getting off that plane, having a big old belt strapped around my waist.
Okay, we can definitely have that conversation. Because Ryan Ballantyne, if he doesn't come running out of that tunnel with his belt on from last year, I feel like I've failed as a guy with a belt for that player. So you need to have a conversation with him, and you need to make sure that happens.
Ryan and I, we can do some negotiating. Ryan and I do some negotiation. I haven't really had a good opportunity to watch Ryan up close. And Ryan's a special football player, man. He is so smooth, excellent hands. It's been a pleasure to work with him.
All right, man. Well, hey, I'm going to kick back and enjoy opening weekend from my couch for the first time in 3 years. That's crazy. And you're going to do the same probably for the first time in like 3 years. So we can text, we can tweet, we can talk smack back and forth as we watch this opening weekend. But I look forward to seeing you March 9th for the home game, the big banner drop. But good luck on the road, of course, against Quad City March 3rd.
I appreciate it, Rich. I will be Snapchatting you my pizza. Do not worry about it.
All right, man. He is Marshall Hart of the Iowa Barnstormers. You take care, man.
Hi, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, one more big thank you to Marshall Hart and Travis Martin for joining me on this Thursday edition of the Fan Show as we are wrapping up, sending you into your weekend right. And, of course, if you missed any of tonight's episode, please be sure to subscribe in one way, shape, or form. iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and, of course, we are broadcasting to you live from Spreaker.com, which can also be a podcast home if you cannot listen live. And then give us a follow. Make sure that you don't miss any updates or any action. That is facebook.com/fanshowofficial. Give us a like, a love, a share, whatever. And then you can follow along Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is @FanShowOfficial, and the Instagram is The Fan Show. It's not official unless it's Fan Show Official, folks, and we are officially out of here. So until next time, best of luck to you and yours. Go Niners, and remember, of course, it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. Good night, folks.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his player's butt? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the Fan Show.